catch me if I fall.
Good afternoon and welcome to the fight for the title. It's Premier League Live as Manchester City take on Arsenal. Two sides looking to respond to Liverpool's win earlier this afternoon, which took Liverpool 3 points clear at the top. Both will be wanting to get 3 points to close that gap to the league leaders. And a huge fixture which Man City got the beneficiary of last season. Arsenal have already got the better of City this season in the league. They'll want to do it another time if they want to take that advantage and get back towards Liverpool. To the teams for this game, and Pep Guardiola has a unusual back five. A couple of injuries affecting his defence as Stefan Ortega in goal. A back four of Manuel Akanji, Ruben Dias, Nathan Ake and Josko Vardiol in defence. Rodri, De Bruyne and Kovacic in midfield, with De Bruyne having the captain's armband. And a front three of Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden and Erling Haaland, who leads the line. John Stones, who is questionable for this game, is fit enough for the bench. No sign of Kyle Walker, who is injured at the moment, which makes for that makeshift defence for Manchester City. A lot of better experience on the bench in attacking areas as well, with Alvarez, Grealish and Doku all on the bench as well. For Arsenal, David Raya starts in goal, a back four of Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel and Jakub Kiwior in the defence. A midfield three of Jorginho, Declan Rice and captain Martin Odegaard, with a different look of a front three, Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Jesus, where we think is on the left hand side, and Kai Havertz playing that false nine role up front for Arsenal. On the bench for Arsenal, again, a very packed bench for Arsenal, a very experienced bench. Ramsdale, Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, Vieira, Partey, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Trossard and Eddie Nketiah. Almost full strength for Arsenal. City struggling with a few injuries. Who will come out the better this afternoon in this huge game for the title and to chase Liverpool down? City against Arsenal from the Etihad. Kick-off is next. Good afternoon and welcome. Just a quick look at the table for you just before kick-off. At the moment, a win would be needed for either of the two sides to really take a dent into Liverpool's lead. Arsenal with a win would go top again on goal difference. Anything other than that would keep them second. If City win, City can only go second and will be a point behind Liverpool after proceedings. Right, it is the big one. It's the one we've been building up towards since the fixture date was released. These two meeting once again. Arsenal got the better of City in the reverse fixture early this season in October, winning by 1-0 at the Emirates. Gabriel Martinelli with the winner. But it's City who are at home today. City on a good run. Arsenal also in a good form themselves. Who will have their title hopes dented today? Which of them will drop points, or will both of them drop points? We will see here this afternoon. City, and of course their sky blue home kit. Arsenal in their red and white home kit themselves. It's blue against red. City against Arsenal. And we're underway at the Etihad for this huge clash between these two sides. A clash over the last few, this season and last season, that has been for the Premier League title. They have Liverpool ahead of them, and both will want 3 points to really chase down Liverpool this afternoon. A referee this afternoon is Anthony Taylor. Jared Gillett is the VAR, and hopefully we won't need very much VAR involvement. The less, the better. The more on the field play we have, the better it will be. Here is William Saliba, who of course was injured for this fixture last season. Towards the end of the season last season, did get an injury which kind of hampered Arsenal's kind of title hopes at one point with that big miss at the back. But he's here and is fit and is ready and raring to go, I'm sure. Here's Stefan Ortega for City, who isn't the usual City goalkeeper, but of course Edison injured in that Premier League game against Liverpool at Anfield is not involved at all here this afternoon. As Odegaard tried to spread the ball for Saka, intercepted by Gvardiol. And Ake. Looks like City have their back four of Akanji at right back, Diaz and Ake at centre back, and then Josko Gvardiol at left back at this moment in time. That seems to be the way of things because they can all play centre back. That's Foden, Haaland in behind for the first time this afternoon. The flag stays down for the moment. Here is Erling Haaland, upended in the box. And the flag does go up against Erling Haaland in the end there. Was a hint of offside. The Arsenal defenders were adamant that there was an offside in there, and he just made that run slightly too early, Erling Haaland. That ball from Phil Foden in behind. So the flag goes up against the Norwegian. Up against his fellow country teammate this afternoon in Martin Odegaard of the opposing side. Of course, all the storylines before, of course, between these two teams and the two managers and the sets of players. Lots of former teammates in the mix here from many different clubs. It's too many to mention. Here's Bernardo Silva for City. Down the right hand side, bricks past Kivior, taken down by Gabriel Jesus, and that's a free kick to City. The referee having to deal with a few arguments from the City. They felt that was a yellow card, but it's Kivior that puts the challenge in initially. Bernardo Silva beats past him, and then Gabriel Jesus trying to cover over, helping his teammate, pulls back Bernardo Silva slightly there, and that's a free kick, nothing more. From the referee's point of view, Anthony Taylor. A draw would be the perfect result for Liverpool, of course. Here this afternoon, it would give Liverpool daylight over both teams. A win for either would close the gap. So free kick here for City on the right hand side. 3.5 minutes gone. Kevin De Bruyne to take. Arsenal have their their defensive line on the penalty spot, it seems, around about there. De Bruyne ready to take this free kick. Right footed delivery. Up and over the bar by Ben White, who was commanding with his header at the back post. Put it behind for the City corner. Under pressure as Haaland was lurking at the back post there. And Ben White took no risks in heading it behind for the corner. So first corner of the game. Who's the way of Manchester City on this left-hand side. De Bruyne takes right-footed. It's a low one, bounced into the box away by Jesus. Picked up by Gvardiol, who breaks past Jesus. Here is Gvardiol, lifts the ball to the back post. Haaland was lurking, but just evaded him at the last second, that ball. As Arsenal clear and City recover again. Diaz. Back with Kovacic. So Arsenal on the press. City try and play through. Kovacic to Haaland. Now Foden. Down the left is De Bruyne. Trying to come in, failed to De Bruyne, or that Foden there was De Bruyne, but Arsenal in the way to block that one off as Ben White clears down the line. And that will roll out of play for a City throw. Good intensity to start the game. City applying early pressure. Controlling the ball. Commanding the possession at the moment, Manchester City. Okay. Back to Ortega. Ortega Fizzed out to DS on the right hand side. Ruben Diaz looking for options, can only go back towards Rodri, who goes back to Ortega again, who goes long up the middle. Haaland to hold the ball up and try and spread it away, but Haaland dispossessed, and Arsenal get a free kick, which they take quickly. Odegaard, very high tempo start. Here's Saka down the right flank. Back to Odegaard. It goes back to Saliba and across to Gabriel. So Arsenal try and get a few touches and a few passes on the ball. They play the ball forward and City intercept and recover through Rodri. And it goes back to Ortega again. Well, Stephen Ortega, of course, as I mentioned, deputising for Edison. Had to come on against Liverpool and played in the FA Cup against Newcastle, where he kept a clean sheet in that game. Also played in the 6-2 win over Luton in the FA Cup, but his last Premier League involvement was on in January in the 3-2 win over Newcastle United. He started that game as Edison came off injured in that one. Arsenal had a good attack there. Just see this again, down the right hand side, good move. Ben White, I think, with a chop back. Jesus chests it down and has a strike and goes wide of the left post, but good move by Arsenal. Again, completely unmarked there, Jesus. City a bit delayed in their marking, and Jesus just couldn't hit the target. Fired it wide of the left post. So 0-0 after 7.5 minutes. Arsenal have this through and on the right hand side. It's really in the balance, these two teams. That's why everyone's so excited for this game, so up for it. What's on the line? Not only that, but also how good these two teams have been in recent weeks. They're incredible runs of form. City unbeaten in the last 22 games in all competitions. Arsenal 4 wins on the bounce. In terms of Premier League form, Arsenal have a wonderful form in 2024. Haven't lost a league game in 2024, Arsenal. And even better than that, they've won all of them. All 8 games since the turn of the year. Only defeat in 2024 was the first leg of the Champions League round of 16 against Porto. It's their only European defeat. They've only had one domestic defeat as well, and that was against Liverpool in the FA Cup. But their league form has been impeccable since the turn of the year, and only conceded 4 goals in their 8 games since the turn of the year, keeping 4 clean sheets. And in all of those games where they've kept clean sheets, they've scored 5 or more goals in those games. Relentless in attacking areas, Arsenal, and they are the league's top goal scorers. 70 goals coming into this one. Liverpool on 67, City on 63. As the clearance from Raya straight to City bodies. Here's Bernardo Silva, lays it off. De Bruyne on the right hand side, chops it in, and easily caught by David Raya there under very little threat, but put himself under pressure there with that poor clearance. He does get it out this time though. Saka to Saliba, who's closed into the corner, but does get the ball forward. Saka brings the ball down. Odegaard riding a challenge, but does lose out eventually, and City win the ball back. Silva picking it up deep here, Bernardo Silva. 10 minutes gone, 0-0. Akanji. Bernardo Silva again. Across to Rodri. Now Foden. Out to the left-hand side. Finds Vardiol. Back to Phil Foden. And now Kovacic. City trying to control the ball again. Passing it around. Waiting for that opening. Waiting for that chance. That opportunity. Against Arsenal, who are sitting deep. being compact, and that ball from Silva took a deflection off Gabriel Jesus, who's dropped in as well and goes out for the City throw on the right hand side. Well, we're yet to get an away win this weekend, which is unusual in the Premier League. Either a draw or a home win has been the results this weekend. Arsenal would love for them to be the only team to win away from home this weekend. They would love it to be them. But the trend, 9 games gone this weekend and not a single away win. That's very rare in the Premier League. And a couple of draws as well. Quite a number of draws. Here is Silva. Rodri. Kovacic. Ake finds Ruben Dias. Rodri tries to go on a run through the middle. Blocked off initially, battling to win it back, but Arsenal is compact. Get it away. And Saka tries to carry on the counter, but City win it back again. Here's De Bruyne. Trying to charge his way through, but that's good covering by Jesus. And then Rice coming across, picks it up and gets Arsenal on the ball again. Rice. Heavy touch there by Kivior. Gives the ball back to City. Here's De Bruyne looking for Haaland, and Saliba came and took control and cleared it away as Jesus goes down there. Wanted a free kick, but referee thought it was a bit weak. Nothing in that as the game continues again. Rodri. Ake. Now Foden. Kovacic. Rodri now finds Diaz. Down the right hand side is Bernardo Silva. Back to Ruben Dias, who whips across in, but no one there to meet it. And Ben White chests it back to David Raya, who grabs for Arsenal. Raya rolls it out to Saliba. It's instantly closed down by Mateo Kovacic and has to try and get himself out of trouble there. Does well. Plays it down the line and Ben White helping out. And then the foul by Rodri will give Arsenal a free kick. Jorginho, the man, fouled there. Early on, 8% of the ball in City's final third in the last 5 minutes. 53% in Arsenal's final third. 39% in the middle. Here come Arsenal. Down the right hand side, here's White. White with the early cross. But too far forward for any Arsenal player in there, and Stefan Ortega gets a firm grip on the ball. Well, Arsenal's win earlier this season in the Premier League is their first league win, was their first league win against City since, wait for it, since, oh my god, since way back in December 2015. That's been their only win since that one they've already had this season. And in that season, they won at home and drew away in that league season against City. That was the last time that City failed to beat them in a single season in the league. As Vardiol does well down the left to win City a corner. Finally poised at the moment, this game. Just a one shot so far. One for the Gabriel Jesus one. It went wide. That's the only shot of the game. City with a corner, whipped in. Oh, it's very nearly through. Nathan Ake popped up, but David Raya got down quick and denied the ball, but that was really threatening all the way through, and Ake got a connection to it, and David Raya was in the right area to get down and close it down and stop the ball from going over the line. That was very close. But it didn't end up going over the line, and Arsenal got the control of the ball, which they almost instantly give straight back to City because they go long and hand the possession back to City via a throw-in. It's good pressure from Arsenal there. An uncharacteristic error from Phil Foden. Faced his own goal and put it behind for a corner. Rare from him to not make the pass. And Arsenal have a corner here, which they have the joint most goals scored from corners, the most goals from set pieces, and the joint most goals from crosses. They love these situations, Arsenal, and they're the most potent from these situations and most ruthless. Corner on the right hand side. A lot of players, all the Arsenal players at the back post. Ben White on the goalkeeper. Saka to take, left footed delivery. It's a deep one all the way through, and Ortega saw it all the way and got the catch. In a kind of mix of Arsenal bodies there, Ortega did well commanding that. Rolled it out to Bernardo Silva. Rodri. Both sides stepping up defensively at the moment to what the opposition is the opposite number is throwing at them. Still 0-0. Remember, of course, this game last season, Arsenal needed to come here and get a result. They didn't, very much didn't. They gifted City a first goal after 7 minutes through Kevin De Bruyne. And City just commanded the game from then. City took a 3-goal lead before Arsenal responded, but then City went on to win 4-1 in that fixture here last season. So far from anywhere near a good Arsenal performance here on their last visit. At that point, they led the way, Arsenal. They don't lead the way this time. Rodri. Kovacic. Now Ruben Dias. Akanji. Now Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side. Manuel Akanji. Back towards Ruben Dias, who's on the right-hand side. Finds Akanji again on the overlap, and in there to close it down was Jesus, but last touch off him gives City the throw, which they take quickly through Silva. Foden. Rodri. Bernardo Silva. Reverses it out to the right hand side. Finds Akanji. Back to Silva. Has a bit of space now. Tries to force it through to Foden. Blocked off. Has to go back to Rodri. And City recycle it all the way back to Ake to keep the control of the ball. Arsenal quick to those challenges in the middle. And a step out there from Jesus on Bernardo Silva, and which gives City the free kick. The referee just telling the Jesus to calm down, to keep his head. City took that free kick, spread it out to the left hand side for Vardiol. Back to Kovacic, who gives it back to Ake. Foden. Kovacic. As I was saying, that compact nature of Arsenal forcing City wide. Akanji. Come back infield now, City. What City are trying to do, you can see it, they're trying to go wide, eke any bit of space in the middle to get against Arsenal. They're using Akanji as kind of that buffer, and then trying to deliver the ball infield quicker to see if Arsenal get back into the ship or not, and see if there's any space. But every time, Arsenal shuffling across, getting back into their compact shape and closing down any City hopes. As City get a bit complacent in the middle. Havertz finds it through to Saka on the break. That's a great recovery challenge by Josko Vardiol, who does well against Saka there, and City retrieve the ball. And a glimpse of maybe a bit of sloppiness, a bit of complacency there from City to allow Arsenal even a chance at trying to counter there. Bit of impatience once there. A rare impatience from Manchester City, who are usually always very patient and controlled. Foden. Back to Kovacic. And Ake goes back to Ortega. As City pass it around in their own half again. Bernardo Silva spreads it forward. Vardiol made the run down the left. Vardiol looking to play it on. Finds Foden. Takes a touch. Tries to find De Bruyne. Again, a bit wayward, that pass from Phil Foden. And that attack breaks down for Manchester City. Once again, that misplaced pass from Phil Foden allows Arsenal back on the ball as Raya goes long. Trying to find the right winger in Bukayo Saka, but just a bit too much this time and goes out for a throw-in. Successful pass in the final. 58 successful passes in the final third for City. Just 5 for Arsenal. Shows the kind of balance of things. City's long ball forward. All the way through and out for a goal kick to Arsenal. 170 passes so far for City. 92% accurate. 60 passes for Arsenal. 73% accurate. So a couple of misplaced passes from Arsenal at times, but City, the many passes they rack up. 22 minutes. Goalless. Saliba fired forward. Odegaard couldn't get it and Saka tried to help out, but Vardiol does well. Now back to Kovacic, Rodri and Akanji now. Kovacic, Vardiol. Back to Mateo Kovacic. Rodri. Across to Ruben Dias. Dias trying to find De Bruyne. De Bruyne hounded a bit here. Followed all the way by Kivior. Nice link up with Bernardo Silva. De Bruyne is cut across. Away by Jorginho. And City try to recycle it again as Jesus battles. Nicked away by Havertz there, but won back by Rodri again, and City back on the ball. Here is Rodri. Through the middle, finds Akanji. Made that infield run. Linking up with De Bruyne, give and go. Akanji looking for the cutback. Kivior there to intercept and block and clear it away. But only as far as Ruben Dias, who gets City back in possession instantly. Rinse and repeat at the moment. Dias with the ball in. Vardiol with a chest. At the byline. Vardiol seen out there by Arsenal. The City recycle the ball back to Ake. Rodri. Here is Rodri trying to eke a bit of space, but that's a good challenge by Rice. And that gets Arsenal on the break. Here's Odegaard, 3-on-2 in City's favour. And here comes Havertz. The City flood bodies back. Arsenal trying to get them forward. Here's Havertz. Now Jesus on the break. Through to Havertz. Just a bit ahead of him. And Kai Havertz tried to stretch for the ball. I think he caught Ortega in the process. And it's accidental there from Havertz. If he does get a catch on Ortega, there's nothing he can do there. He has a right to go for the ball. It's Jesus' ball just slightly ahead of him. Just unfortunate. Nice. Initially, I thought it was going to be a good move, but he does get a tip on the ball there, Havertz, so he does well to get a toe to it. But Ortega just reaches it. And Pep Guardiola's not happy about something. And there's an issue here. They're going to make a change here, City. They already have some injury issues at the back. And this is going to be another one. Nathan Ake, who's went down in the process of this stoppage, holding his right leg. Looks to be his lower calf. And it's going to be a substitution. Taking no risks, Pep Guardiola. So Nathan Ake's coming off. And Rico Lewis is going to be the man coming on in his place. So what I'm guessing is going to happen is Manuel Akanji, who's currently at right back, is going to drop in at centre back, and then Rico Lewis is going to occupy right back. I might try and play that inverted role that we usually see from the City right back. Usually that John Stones possesses, but of course John Stones only fit enough for the bench, and certainly not, according to Pep Guardiola. It seems evidently with this substitution that he's not available, or not fit enough to make the rest of the game if he does come on at this stage. So Lewis is on in Ake's place. Kovacic under pressure. Does well to skip away from his man and get the ball forward. As Haaland tries to battle there, and De Bruyne goes down under a challenge from Gabriel, and City will get the free kick. Again, City complain and they want a yellow card. I mean, yeah, he does stretch for the ball, but I mean, in a big game like this, the referee's not going to be handing out yellow cards for haphazard challenges. He's going to hand them out for much more exuberant challenges and free kicks. And Bernardo Silva's the next man to be fouled, and gets another free kick. But the referee's telling City to calm down because they're still screaming about yellow cards. Remember, in our earlier game between Liverpool and Brighton, we saw one of the Brighton players get booked for complaining about yellow cards and wanting a Liverpool player to be booked. So Anthony Taylor doesn't want to get the cards out yet. But I wouldn't say that a card's too far away from Jakub Kiwior. He's had a couple of challenges, 2 or 3 I think, fouls so far, so you will have to be careful. Accumulation will come into things at some point. City of the free kick, De Bruyne with delivery, headed away by Havertz as Kovacic recycles, but gives it back to Bernardo Silva, who spins on the ball to get City looking for a forward option again, but allows City to get back into shape while he holds the ball up. So far, looking at the stats, Arsenal have had more shots, 2 shots to City's 1, and more touches in the opposition box, 3 to City's 2. City have 2 touches in Arsenal's box at the moment. Shows how well defended and well controlled that City box, or that Arsenal box, is against those City opponents at the moment. City have had 1 shot, 1 on target. Arsenal have had 2, 1 on target as well. So minimal amounts of shots. It's more of a tussle in the middle. A chess match at the moment. City commanding the ball. It's over 70% possession, but Arsenal sitting deep, soaking up pressure and knowing when to threaten Arsenal on the threaten City on the counter. Saliba, Gabriel, Declan Rice. He's instantly pressed upon, but he does well to spin it back to David Raya. He goes long, does well to pick up Saka, who controls it. Saka goes back to Gabriel, now finds Rice. Out to the left-hand side to Kiwior. Kiwior looking for the ball in behind, but that one's too close to Ortega again. Not enough curl in that one, and Havertz was lurking, but the ball was quite a few yards away from the German. Rodri. And here, good work from Vardiol. Finds Kevin De Bruyne. Carries the ball with him. De Bruyne on the run. Oh, just trying to thread it through for Foden, who slipped. And Saliba was a bit slow to that, but luckily for him that Foden slipped because it let him in. And now Arsenal on the break. Here's Ben White. Odegaard in a bit of space. Here is Martin Odegaard trying to get Arsenal forward. White with a chip ball across. Jakub Kiwior to recycle. Here's Gabriel Jesus taking a touch. Shoots and misses the target again. from the edge of the box. Gabriel Jesus, nice close control, really good counter-attack by Arsenal. They find the space on that right-hand side. Ben White kind of stretching the City defence, and he cut it back for Odegaard, linking back up with White, who chipped it across. Kivior brings it down, plays it down across to Gabriel Jesus, has time and space on the edge of the box, takes a touch and strikes with his left, but couldn't find the target and hit it wide of the right post. But really well worked counter-attack from Arsenal. And that's what I mean about waiting for those moments, not forcing the issue against City, allowing City to have the majority of the ball, to control the tempo of the game. But when you get an opportunity, when you see a space on the break, you take it and you go with full pace and power behind it, because you can get at City from those counter-attacks. And Arsenal almost very much did so there. And they look really kind of well structured out of possession, Arsenal as well. Odegaard through the lines. Rice tried to avoid it in the process. He did hit the back of Declan Rice, which dispossesses Arsenal inadvertently. And City back on the ball with Diaz, Rodri, De Bruyne, Guardiola back to Kovacic. Now Rodri, Kovacic again. 32 minutes gone. City 0, Arsenal 0. Here at the Etihad Stadium. City again just playing around at the back, waiting for their opportunity. Bernardo Silva, Rodri. Now Kovacic has runners beyond them, but the ball from Kovacic just too much on it to find Foden, and Arsenal recover through David Raya, who picks up the ball. And City having well over 200 passes, 200 shots, imagine, 200 passes in the game, over 90% of them accurate, but Arsenal kind of closing them down quite well and kind of stifling City when they're on the ball. It's when City slow the game down and pass it around, Arsenal look really comfortable. They don't look kind of scared or kind of frail. They look really strong, well kind of controlled out of the ball, out of possession, Arsenal at the moment, when City do have it in those areas through the middle. And at times, as you can see, Arsenal are trying to force City wide in those wide areas, and Arsenal feel that they have the advantage there too. They just shuffle out and City try and come back infield, but Arsenal close back in again. It's very well matched at the moment as Arsenal again applying the press through Odegaard there. Almost got it, Rodri. Rodri did get it back to his man, but Odegaard's on the threat here and he's got the win of the ball out of Kovacic. Cuts it back to Declan Rice. Plays it on to Jesus. Jesus trying to find a bit of space. Gabriel Jesus cannot get that bit of space. Does get the shot off though. Havertz linking up, but the flag's gone up here against Jakub Kivior, which brings an end to this attack from Arsenal. But again, slight kind of lapse in concentration from City, uncharacteristic again. Kovacic just trying to pass it back to Diaz. He completely miscues it. Diaz can't recover in time. Odegaard wins it back, finds Rice. Rice plays it wide to Jesus, who cuts back infield, tries to eke a bit of space at the edge of the box, and then it's blocked off. But again, another good counter-attacking move from Arsenal, but all of City's own doing there, that one. They allowed Arsenal to win it back. That's a good challenge by Gabriel on Erling Haaland there. Odegaard through the middle. Saka made the run. Here's Bukayo Saka looking for bodies in the box. Saka spreads it out to the edge. Here's Rice. Rice linking up with Jesus, trying to keep it alive. Jesus, Odegaard finds Jesus. Jesus through the middle, trying to find Odegaard again, but picked up by Ortega. They need to take a shot at some point, Arsenal, because they're trying to just run their way through City. They're trying to create the perfect goal. Just have a shot. You never know what can happen. City are really squeezing that edge of the box. They're crowding Arsenal out when they do get in those positions. And that's why Arsenal are not having those shots instantly. You need to just fire a ball. And the game's levelled out in the last 5 minutes. Arsenal have had more of the ball in the final third than City. 38% to 18%. With 44% of the ball through the middle. So much more contested game in the last 5 minutes. This is where City might find their spaces as well. If Arsenal do break out a bit more and do get a bit more confident on the ball and spring a few more attacks, there might be more spaces for City to kind of exploit. Here's Rodri. Kovacic. Now Bernardo Silva. Silva gets to the edge of the box. Blocked off again as the ball's cleared out to Rodri once more. Less than 9 minutes of the first half to go. City 0, Arsenal 0. Kovacic. Wide to Vardiol. Back to Ruben Dias. Here's Rico Lewis. He is playing that inverted role of fullback. He is through the middle. Here is Akanji. Switches out to the left. Finds Vardiol on the left flank. All on his own out there as Vardiol delivers a ball in. Haaland was up for it but could not get it on target. Erling Haaland fired it well wide of the goal there. Really good cross by Vardiol. And the fact that Haaland even got a connection with it is quite remarkable as well. With Kivior and Gabriel contesting. Gabriel, I think, might have just put Erling Haaland off as he was coming for that ball there. And Haaland could only head it wide. Goal kick to Arsenal. Raya. Poor kick by David Raya. Slipped when he made that kick. And now the challenge from Declan Rice. Foul on Erling Haaland. Free kick to Manchester City. And again, City are complaining. They want a yellow card for Rice. But yeah, it's a swinging leg at it. Kind of silly one there from Declan Rice. A bit cynical. I think the referee's really reluctant to hand out yellow cards this afternoon. I don't think he wants to get into that battle today about yellow cards. City have another free kick. Their 8th of the game. De Bruyne to deliver it once more. Back post looking for Akanji. He does bring it down but has to spin away from goal to get the control on the ball. And blocked off, has to go back all the way back to Rico Lewis. Now De Bruyne. Kovacic. De Bruyne. Rodri. Down the left hand side is Vardiol. It's come on City. Is sung around the Etihad to try and spur their side on. De Bruyne. Down the right hand side is Bernardo Silva. Up against Kivior. Bernardo Silva trying to chop and confuse the defenders and does well to keep the ball. Dias now. Akanji through the middle. Akanji with the ball in. Flicked on and by Rodri but flicked wide of the post. And Gabriel's gone down feeling his face there. Bit of a collision involved in that one. Committed from Rodri. Dove across the face of Gabriel and took him out with some clattering there on Gabriel, and then Erling Haaland was trying to get a toe to it but he missed it as well and went behind for a goal kick to Arsenal. Minimal moments, but moments indeed. And don't forget, the footballing action this Easter weekend does not end here today. We've 2 more games for you tomorrow. Championship again. Dramatic Friday night of Good Friday action from the Championship. And we have more on Easter Monday as Leicester take on Norwich, followed by Leeds against Hull tomorrow on Easter Monday here on LFS. And Raya, again, just a moment or two while I was reading those ads, missed a poor kick again. He's not confident in those kicks. Has City give the ball away? No, they've been fouled there. Vardiol with a foul. Eurosine Bogan. I'll just call you Bogan. Perhaps he's forgotten his cards. Yet the referee reluctant to give out the cards. Anthony Taylor. But I think in these types of games, referees are more reluctant to give out bookings in these big, high kind of energy games. They are going to be more physical. There's going to be more battling going on. It's very high control type tempo, dramatic games. So they are less likely to put out cards in this type of game unless they're really bad. Oh my god. Just as I was reading that, Raya. That was an awkward one. Vardiol spotted Raya off his line and tried to go for goal, and he wasn't far away. The ball comes spinning down, and Raya, oh my god, just grabbed it at the right time and didn't carry it over the line. Did well there. That was an awkward one for Raya to deal with, and he dealt with it well. As Jesus brings down the kick well. Nice control as a collision there between Havertz and I think that was Akanji. Will be an Arsenal throw. Jakob Kiwior takes the throw, goes back to Gabriel. He goes back to David Raya, who's come a fair distance from his goal. Fires it long, looking for that left flank. Kiwior with the header on. And Akanji under pressure. Could only head it towards his goalkeeper, trying to relieve the pressure. And in the end, too much on that header, and it went behind for the Arsenal corner. Ortega couldn't retrieve it in time before it went over the byline, and will be a Arsenal corner. And as I mentioned already, Arsenal love a corner. They love a set piece. It's only their second corner of the game. And we're into the last couple of minutes of this first half, where it is goalless. A deadlock yet to be broken here at the Etihad. Arsenal with this corner. Rice to take it on the left-hand side. It will be an in-swinging corner. Right-footed from Rice. Deep. Away by Haaland. Saka to recycle. Out to the right-hand side. Brought down by Gabriel. That's it back to Saka. Saka with the left. Trying to control it forward and gets it to his captain Odegaard, but City break it away. But good covering from Rice to not allow City out as he recycles the ball and tries to play it forward, but couldn't find the run of Gabriel Jesus, and it will bounce through for a run to Stefan Ortega, who will recover for City. Ortega takes the kick straight the way to Erling Haaland, who lays it off to Foden. Vardiol finds Bernardo Silva. Back to Vardiol on the left-hand side. Kovacic. Kevin De Bruyne. Now Rico Lewis. Back in field to Akanji. Now Rodri. De Bruyne. Akanji. Nice work from City again. Those quick passes. Rodri breaks his way through. Does well up the middle. Foden with a shot. Blocked. A crowd of bodies there. And it was blocked somewhere in between. And there's going to be a free kick here. And it's going to be an Arsenal free kick. Rodri pleading his innocence for the challenge on... Couldn't see who the Arsenal player was there. I think is it Odegaard? Can't read the number, so I don't know who it is, but it looks like from the hair, Martin Odegaard was the one that was caught there by Rodri. At the moment, both of these sides at the moment, it's tentative. Tentative at the moment in this game. Only 2 shots on target, 1 each in this one, and both fairly comfortable for the either goalkeeper. It's not been one of those ones where it's been a multitude of chances. A good takedown by Havertz there, but he couldn't keep the ball for long from that Raya kick as Foden tries to break away for City. He's beaten off the ball by Rice as it finds its way to Vardiol, and Rice in close proximity forces Vardiol to go backwards as we've surpassed the 45-minute mark, and we will have 2 added minutes at the end of the first half. So 2 added minutes for the interval here at the Etihad. Here's Ruben Dias. Mateo Kovacic to Rodri. Rodri with the ball out to the left-hand side. Chested down by Vardiol. Nice control. Lovely move. Vardiol trying to find the spaces. Foden does well to step away from the marker. Finds Lewis. Lewis crowded out there. Real scramble as Arsenal get the ball away. As Odegaard tries to pick it up. Does lay it off to Saka, who is taken down, and that will be an Arsenal free kick. That's really good from Arsenal again. When they look like they're in a bit of trouble against City, they got bodies back really quickly, and they play it out. Bit of a scramble. They win the ball, and they try and get on the front foot instantly. And what they do well is they force that challenge out of Kevin De Bruyne and get the free kick, which takes the pressure off, brings the tempo back down in the game. Really good play by Arsenal. Into the last minute of the first half. David Raya up to take this free kick for the Gunners. So Raya to take this free kick. Right-footed. Long ball forward. Away by Vardiol at the back there for City as Jorginho tries to retrieve, but can only carry it over the over the sideline and put it out for a City throw. And there is the half-time whistle from Anthony Taylor. A first half, as I said, a bit tentative, a bit respectful from both teams, shall we say. And neither side really going hell for leather just yet. But at the moment, it's a result that makes it a perfect day for Liverpool as it stands, who would love a draw out of this one. Neither of these two would benefit from a draw, really. It would be a disappointment and seen as 2 points drop for both teams. But at the moment, both are showing a lot of respect, and both really struggling in the final third to get any sort of clear chances. And at the moment, that is where we stand. Goalless at the break. Man City 0, Arsenal 0.
Catch me if I fall.
Welcome back to the fight for the title, the Premier League Live, between Manchester City and Arsenal here on this Easter Sunday. And a pretty tepid and timid first half, really. Both sides tiptoeing around each other. A bit of respect between the two, which sees us goalless at the break. Earlier this afternoon, one of the other title challengers, Liverpool, were in action against Brighton. They did the job against Roberto De Zerbi's side. Their first win over Roberto De Zerbi's Brighton in his tenure. And their first win at home against Brighton since 2019, which is a remarkable stat which I read, and also that win is even more significant as it's Liverpool's 300th success and victory under Jurgen Klopp's tenure. So that is already, which has taken, by the way, Liverpool 3 points clear at the top. They would remain at the top, and as it stands, with City and Arsenal both drawing, they would be clear at the top. Liverpool, let's just have a look and see what way it would stand if it ends a draw. Arsenal would be second on 65 points, and City would be in third on 64, which would mean that Liverpool would stay top of the table and a couple of points clear of those two rivals before the end of the season. And it's all to play for. It would be a dash to the finish line, 9 games to go. But of course, only halfway through this meeting between Arsenal and Manchester City at the break. And we haven't seen an away win this weekend, as I mentioned in that first half. Newcastle winning at home, Bournemouth winning at home, draw between Chelsea and Burnley, draw between Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace, draw between Sheffield United and Fulham, Spurs winning at home, Villa winning at home, draw between Brentford and Manchester United, and then Liverpool winning at home as well. No away wins, although only one side this weekend, or one away side, or one side overall, has failed to score other than City and Arsenal so far this weekend. That was Wolves, the only other team to have failed to find the back of the net this weekend. So not many clean sheets up for grabs either. Villa, the only team so far this weekend in the 9 games to have a clean sheet, which is fascinating as well. Some interesting details here this weekend, and a lot of things going on. The title race, of course, is the big headliner today, but of course that top 4 race is still piping on between Aston Villa and Spurs. Doesn't look like Man United are going to get themselves into that. Still a bit away from that, but Villa and Spurs, the 2 battling for that 4th place, and then the relegation battle springing on, of course, as well, and the race for European places as well, with United, West Ham, Newcastle, Brighton, Wolves, Chelsea, Fulham, and maybe even Bournemouth could get themselves into a European battle. Who knows? A lot of teams in that European battle as well. So a lot to play for in the Premier League this final few weeks of the season. A long way to go still yet. They're only in match day 30, and a lot of teams didn't play on match day 29, of course, because of FA Cup action, so there is still a few games in hand for a couple of teams as well in the process. So still a long way to go in this season, and anything can happen at any of our races this season. Thank you very much. Welcome to Naomi Mua. Apologies if that's wrong. Thank you very much for joining the channel as a member. Great to have you with us here this afternoon. Great to have everybody with us this afternoon for this huge game. And it was talking about that first half, a very tentative first half. As I mentioned, it was kind of both sides were really kind of tiptoeing around each other. At times, they frustrated each other pretty well, these two teams. Arsenal, I would say, more so than City in terms of that, because I think Arsenal, being out of possession, it can be very tiring just shuffling across. It can get a bit boring at times, just shuffling across, staying with your man, just kind of sitting into space and allowing City to have more of the ball. That's how City usually just kind of get past teams, is that kind of patient nature of playing around and pass you to death, basically. But Arsenal really, at times, they haven't really shown a massive opening where City kind of have played through them. And that frustrating nature that Arsenal have kind of applied upon City has been very, very impressive. The way they've been so compact, so concentrated, so controlled, so disciplined in their defending out of possession. It's been quite remarkable, quite excellent from Arsenal. Tough place to go, a difficult team to face up against in City who can carve anyone open. But Arsenal, they're one of their best qualities this season. We talked about it, what they didn't have last season. As much, or if anywhere near as much, was their really strong defensive ability. You know, they're the best defence in the league, 24 goals conceded. No one has conceded less than Arsenal this season. They have the best defence in the league and the best attack. A pretty good combination, you would say. So they look really strong defensively, Arsenal. But City have such good quality players. I mean, we look at the quality players on the pitch. The likes of a Foden, a Haaland, a Bernardo Silva, a De Bruyne, a Kovacic, a Rodri, and even the defenders as well. They can all threaten for City. And it could come down to which two teams deal with their substitutes better. You know, there are a lot of subs here on the bench. Strong players in attack for both teams, that is. You know, you look at City's bench, they've got Doku, Grealish, Alvarez, Mateus Nunes as well on the bench, who can offer an opposing, an attacking threat. And then you talk about Arsenal. they've got a lot of quality players in attack as well. The likes of Nketiah, Trossard, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, Vieira, even in midfield, who can really threaten and cause an attacking threat. So it could maybe come down to one of these two teams and their substitutions off from the bench being the difference. You know, we talked about Liverpool showing a lot from the bench this season, and their ability to threaten from the bench and cause problems. You know, these two teams could come down to the strength of the bench and who's got the better depth on the bench. We will see if that progresses. Remember, City did make a substitute in that first half, so they have only two options to make substitutes. Arsenal still have their three if they haven't made a sub. Nathan Ake did come off for Rico Lewis through an injury issue, which piles the pressure on Pep Guardiola's defensive issues or injuries, which he's already had, with the likes of Stones only fit enough for the bench today and not fit enough to come on for around 70 minutes, which it would have needed to if he would have had to come on for Nathan Ake. Not fit enough for that, clearly, and no involvement for Kyle Walker on the day for him. Not involved after an injury for him as well. So a few defensive issues for City at the moment. Of course, no Edison as well for City. In terms of the stats from that first half, pretty even. The only stat that isn't even is the possession stats. City have had 72% possession, Arsenal 28%, but of course that's probably both. Arsenal, I think, have probably wanted City to have more of the ball. They know City's going to have more possession, so they've allowed them that and worked so well on their out of possession ability, and it's actually worked well for them so far. So they've had a lot less possession, Arsenal, but still looking opposing threat on the counter when they do have the ball. And clearly, because the shots on target, exactly the same. 4 shots apiece, 1 shot on target apiece, 2 corners apiece. City have had one big chance which they missed. Arsenal haven't created a big chance yet. City dominating the possession, as I said. The passes, 362 passes for City to 91 accuracy. Percentage accuracy, and Arsenal's 138 passes, 74% accurate. So a lot less accurate passes from Arsenal, but that's because of their counter-attacking ability. They're threatening on the counter-attack, which means they are more likely to have less accurate passes because of that counter-attacking ability. The XG is again fairly similar. 0.51 for City, 0.52 for Arsenal, so almost identical on that front as well. It is as even could be in terms of all the tangible, real interesting details other than possession, which City are dominating, but that was expected. Arsenal, well, if they do end up winning today, which is a long way away, it's not out of the question, but it's also not in the question as well, and they're looking for their first away win at the Etihad since January of 2015, when they won by 2-0. Santi Cazorla from the penalty spot and Olivier Giroud scored the 2 goals for Arsenal in their last win away at City. Since then, they have drawn 2-2, lost 2-1, lost 3-1, lost 3-0, lost 3-1, lost 3-0, lost 1-0, lost 5-0, lost 1-0, lost 4-1, lost, and then up till recently. So 4-1 is their last meeting here, and that was a pretty comfortable win for City on that day, but a lot less comfortable here this afternoon. At half-time, it is City 0, Arsenal 0, and the second 45 to see if any of these two teams can win it is on the way next. Do stay with us.
Catch me if I fall. If you try, you just might get a little bit of trouble, okay?
welcome back to Premier League Live, fight for the title between City and Arsenal. The second half on the way next. Don't forget, double header of Championship action for you tomorrow as Leicester City host Norwich City at the King Power Stadium. Forgot the name of that there. On our Easter Monday action next tomorrow at lunchtime, 12:30 kickoff before the late game tomorrow from Elland Road under the lights. What a game that's set to be after Hull were beaten on Friday. They would look to respond and Leeds look to get back to winning ways after their draw as well on Friday night. On Easter Monday at 8 o'clock. Double header tomorrow for you. Right, we're almost ready to get back underway at the Etihad for the second half between Manchester City and Arsenal. Between these two sides, with only Arsenal have the ability to topple Liverpool, but they need a win to do that. A draw would be the perfect kind of result for Liverpool fans, but at the moment, that is the way it's going. But who knows? The next 45 minutes. The deadlock very much easily could be broken. We will see if it will be. As I mentioned, it could come down to benches. Both benches have quality. Both benches have ability. We'll just have to wait and see if both benches come into action. Remember, City do have one less substitute than Arsenal, or one less substitute opportunity, obviously. City have 4 substitutes remaining. Arsenal have 5. City have two occasions to make those subs. Arsenal have 3 occasions to make those subs. As the players back out onto the pitch, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications. We're on the way to 23,000. We just hit 22,500 yesterday. Thank you very much for that. Do keep getting those subscribes in. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Do hit the like button as well on the stream. It would be greatly appreciated. Does help us out very much. And do hit those post notifications so you don't miss a single stream here on LFS. Towards the end of the season, we've jam-packed for you over April and May, and you won't want to miss it as title races and cups come to an end. Back underway then for the second half at the Etihad. So 0-0, hanging in the balance after 45 minutes here in Manchester. Is there to be one of these two teams picking up 3 points, or will they both drop 2 here this afternoon? We will see over the next 45 minutes. I'm probably expecting more of the same, to be honest. City dominating the ball, Arsenal sitting a bit deeper and hitting them on the break. A reminder that our referee this afternoon is Anthony Taylor. Our VAR is Jared Gillett. City at the back there. Back with Ortega. Arsenal on the high press instantly there. And it does force a kick out of Ortega, and Arsenal intercept that kick, but give it straight back to City. Saliba in with the header. Diaz to head it back the way it came, and Rice to bring it down. Jorginho battling for the ball, but loses out as Foden picks up the ball, and City on the break. Down the right-hand side is Silva. Bodies forward for City. Bernardo Silva trying to find any of them. Tries to cut it back. Rico Lewis. Lovely spin from Lewis. Foden. Rodri finds Kovacic. Kovacic with a shot. Oh, and it went round the right-hand side of the post. Curling effort from Mateo Kovacic. And for a moment there, we thought it was going to nestle into the net, but just the wrong side of the post narrowly there from Mateo Kovacic. Had Raya diving for it. Might have snuck in if it was on target. I don't know. Wasn't sure. Maybe Raya would have got a hand to it, but nonetheless, it went wide and that didn't matter. See, big opening there for City. This is where Arsenal need to be careful, though. You know, we've seen them apply a high press there, and they just couldn't keep the possession for long enough. Arsenal in that moment, as they give it away again. Foden on the chase, but the game has been paused here. I think City will get a free kick. Is there an offside? What's happened? The referee stopped the game. Or something. Is there a foul on Erling Haaland? That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, pull back on Haaland there, yeah. It is a pull by Gabriel, and that's the free kick for City then. But that's what I'm saying. Arsenal need to be wary the fact that, yes, you want to press high, yes, you want to win the ball back, and yes, you want to threaten. But again, you did so well out of possession and so well sitting a bit deeper in that first half that you don't want to compromise that by pushing too high up the pitch and allowing City to find those spaces a bit more in those areas. But from City's point of view, they'll be wanting to entice Arsenal. They'll want to play it more at the back, entice Arsenal out a bit more, make them press a bit higher, and then find those spaces in behind. But at the moment, it's still in the balance as Arsenal do win the ball back. They're off Haaland, Rice, Kivior, back to Gabriel, who goes back to David Raya in goal. Across to Saliba. Saka, back to William Saliba. Closely followed by Phil Foden, who's tracking him all the way, and he has to go back to Raya, who fires the ball long, looking for Havertz, who brings it down the first time and spins away from his marker, but can't keep the ball. And I think Martin Odegaard claiming that he was fouled there, Kai Havertz, but there's nothing in that really for me. And the game continues as City have the ball back now with Ruben Dias. Across the halfway line now, Ruben Dias. Back to Rico Lewis. Across to Akanji. Patience from City. Kovacic. Foden trying to break through. Blocked off again, and Saka trying to block the pass, but Kovacic wins it, and he's beaten there. Kovacic, Saka wins it back. Good endeavour from Bukayo Saka, does really well to lay the ball off, and now gets Arsenal on the counter. Oh, and Havertz couldn't thread the ball through, but Havertz went down as he played the ball, and Arsenal wanted the foul, but the referee said no, as Saka's still on the floor after he passed the ball off. He's back to his feet now as Arsenal keep the possession. Here's Ben White. Nice Saka on the right hand side, who gets a boo from the City crowd. Here comes Odegaard though, through the middle. Martin Odegaard trying to squeeze his way around a few City players. He could bit of space to find a pass. Does find Jorginho. Back to Odegaard, who tried to thread it through for Havertz, but just too much on that one from the Arsenal skipper. And it runs through to Stefan Ortega in the City goal. Good endeavour though, I have to say, on Bukayo Saka, who did, when he initially thought he'd lost the ball to Kovacic, did really well to stay with him and make sure that Kovacic didn't find a pass and battled back for the ball. It's good endeavour by Saka as Raya goes long with his kick, but Gabriel Jesus is deemed to have fouled a City player there. Don't know where the foul has come from, and I think Mikel Arteta agrees because he's just stormed his way down to the seat on the bench to have a drink of water. But that was a bit weird, that. I didn't see a foul in there, but City do get the free kick and get the ball back. And you can see Arsenal just slightly improving a bit more in those attacking areas, getting a bit more confident further forward. As Vardy dispossessed. Nice work by Saliba. Threads it through for Odegaard. Here's Saka. Saka with a cross. Oh, and Jesus couldn't finish it. Jesus just had to slide in and inches ahead of him, but that was better from Arsenal. Dispossessing Vardy and winning the ball back high up and threatening. And now City are crying at the referee again that there was something in there. And the crowd are getting behind them, but Anthony Taylor has to get a kind of gather this game together again and recompose the players because it's getting out a bit out of hand there. But good win back by White, laid it off to Saliba, played it forward instantly to Odegaard, who threaded through beautifully for Saka, and Saka with a cross squared it right across the box, and Jesus stretching for it, just couldn't reach the ball. But if he'd got a touch on that, that was 1-0 Arsenal. That was a really well worked move by the Gunners in the final third there. Probably their best move of the game. And that time they had an open chance at goal and couldn't find the finish. As again City get another free kick. Haaland this time fouled, and the referee just again regaining control. City get the free kick, which they take, spread it out to the left hand side to find Foden. Back to Vardiol, who's instantly under pressure. Diaz and Vardiol, closely followed by Saka, who wins the throw-in. Takes it quickly. Havertz on the spin. And the handball, I think, against Kai Havertz there. So that will be a free kick to City again. You can see Arsenal, they're desperate to move the ball quickly. When they get an advantage, they're so direct with it. They're desperate to move the ball quickly. And that's where they can spring on City, as Odegaard again. City dispossessed. Rodri that time, but Vardiol wins it back. Tries to get it down the line, and City will get the throw in as the last touch come off Bukayo Saka there. Arsenal certainly being more of a nuisance to City, not allowing them to even have possession on their own defensive line now. Or their own defence, as they're quicker to those duels now, Arsenal. There's a collision between one player from each team, as City were trying to get in there, but Arsenal had it covered again. It was just waiting to see if anything had happened. But again, it's a very highly fought, highly contested game at the moment. Getting very physical. The more physical it gets, I'd say the more it benefits Arsenal, really. Disrupting City, but even when they don't disrupt City, they look strong. So maybe that could benefit City, the fact that Arsenal are pushing out more, as I've already mentioned. Those spaces in behind, but so far City have been well matched, at the very least. Here's Rico Lewis. Ruben Diaz. Back to Lewis. Cross to Diaz again. Now Vardiol. Diaz. To Akanji. Rodri. No options ahead. Vardiol, and tried to find Rodri again, and almost intercepted by Arsenal once more, but City do get away with that one. Rodri spreading the ball wide. Nice ball. Finds Bernardo Silva in space on that right flank. Rides a challenge or two. Finds Rico Lewis through the middle. Lewis out to the left hand side. Finds Phil Foden. Takes it down. Recycles it back infield to Vardiol. Kovacic. Lewis. Almost unsettled there again, City. Look a bit nervy at times. See, when Arsenal press, like instantly press, City look a bit unnerved, and one or two passes just going a bit wayward. Although look at the space out in the right hand side here for De Bruyne. Battling with Jakub Kiwior, who has him, sees De Bruyne wide and battling with De Bruyne. And he does have the last touch there, Kiwior, which gives City the corner. Their third corner of the game. And we'll see what City will try and do from this corner, where the pressure will be, where they will plant their the bodies. Looks like Akanji's the only one on the goalkeeper, and Foden ready to take this corner. Whipped in with the left boot. Flicked on by White, actually, that helps City to retrieve the ball. Here's Haaland. Back to Kovacic, and Arsenal can now push out and get back into shape. City try and go again with Bernardo Silva. Across to Mateo Kovacic. Rico Lewis. Rodri. Out wide to De Bruyne, who is offside. Kevin De Bruyne. Didn't get himself back onside in time there. City captain. And that's a free kick to Arsenal. And Pep Guardiola in conversation with his assistant there, and maybe eyeing up a sub or two fairly shortly to try and switch the game up a bit. There's a couple of players just coming back from doing their warm-ups. I don't think any of them are ready to come on yet. Just keep an eye on that City bench. Maybe eyeing up a few changes. Though Pep Guardiola, not one to make changes early in games. Usually leaves it to the very last minute. Or at sometimes doesn't even make a substitution in a game. Sticks with the 11 that start. He's done that a couple of times as well this season. Pep Guardiola. We'll see what way he approaches this, because it could come down to, as I mentioned at half-time, the benches, the substitutes could make the difference. This very tight and tentative game at the moment. 0-0 at the Etihad, 58 minutes gone. So still over a half an hour to go at the very least, with a deadlock yet to be broken between Man City and Arsenal. A result and a scoreline that would put a smile on the faces of Liverpool fans, who would see this as the best result for them after their win earlier this afternoon against Brighton. Still a long way for that to be confirmed, though. Here's Rico Lewis. Down the right-hand side comes Bernardo Silva. Chopping away past Kivior. Kivior stays with him. And Jesus tracking back to help out. And Kivior dispossesses Bernardo Silva. And Jorginho to come forward. Actually miscontrols it. Doesn't get the pass off. Gives it away to City. Here's Foden. Rodri with a shot. Bodies on the line there. Gabriel with a block. Confidence as City find a slight bit more space to break into. Get a bit of joy there. Foden. Haaland. Back to Foden. Crowded out again as Odegaard puts in a challenge. And Foden goes down. And City get a free kick. Martin Odegaard this time. The man committing the foul. No need to step in there. Foden was standing or kind of facing away from goal. He was going backwards. Just had to allow him to make that pass off and then press the man who got the pass instead of making that foul, which gives City a free kick and offers them an opportunity to whip a ball into a good area from a good position. And one of the best deliverers of a ball in the Premier League in Kevin De Bruyne. He's alongside Bernardo Silva on that free kick, but I would not bet against De Bruyne taking this one. So whistle goes from Anthony Taylor. De Bruyne with a delivery. Away, not fully cleared by Arsenal. Lewis recycles. De Bruyne again with another delivery, and that one's too much from Kevin De Bruyne. And goes behind for an Arsenal goal kick. And City about to make a double change as well in the process. So they're switching a few things up, which is, again, uncharacteristic of Pep Guardiola. Not used to making those changes early in games, but he's going to make them now, as it looks like Phil Foden is coming off alongside Mateo Kovacic. And Jeremy Doku and Jack Grealish are coming on. So Doku and Grealish on, Kovacic and Foden off. So switching up the wingers, I'm guessing. We'll see what effect this has on City's attack and their threat in the attacking areas. 61 minutes gone, 0-0. City had maybe slightly a bit of joy in the final third, a bit more room, but only one shot in the second half from either team, and that's City's, but it was off target. That was from Kovacic. As De Bruyne running through. Kevin De Bruyne marshalled his way out of play for a City throw by William Saliba. As City take the throw quickly, and Odegaard ushering that one out for a goal kick, holding off Jeremy Doku there in the process. And Arsenal, after City did make their double change, Arsenal are going to respond to make a change of their own. Tomiyasu is coming on. Takahiro Tomiyasu is getting ready on the sidelines. We'll see who he will come on for, as David Raya takes the goal kick. Out to the left-hand side. First header won by Akanji. Bouncing down. Jorginho, with a makeshift pass. Finds it through to Odegaard. Now Saka can't take it in his stride. Odegaard takes a step away from Vardiol. Under pressure. Does well to go back there. Martin Odegaard trying to find the runners in behind. That's a poor giveaway of the ball, though, from Odegaard. Uncharacteristic of him. Not like him to give the ball away there unopposed. Lewis Finds Jack Grealish. Again trying to find something. Diaz. Right hand side here for City. Here's Akanji. Back to Rodri. Rodri with a chip ball into Haaland. Haaland on the spin. Blocked by a few bodies. And Gabriel to clear the lines. But more pressure from City. Trying to find those areas in the box. Arsenal dealing with it. Matching it at the moment. Rodri. De Bruyne tried to find Haaland. And just a bit wayward. But Saliba clears it away. But straight back to City control. Grealish down the left. Marked by Saka. Goes down under a challenge from Bukayo Saka. And gets a free kick off Bukayo Saka. England teammates, of course. And again, it's just unnecessary from Saka. He's not facing goal. He's not under pressure. Just waves a left foot at him and catches Jack Grealish's right boot. And that's what's Jack Grealish is so good at, enticing players on and committing a foul. Arsenal are going to make a double change in a moment. Not just yet though, but in a moment. Partey and Tomiyasu coming on, so we'll see who their replacements are going to, who they're replacing in a few moments after this City free kick, I'm guessing. We'll see how that pans out. So De Bruyne to take it, right footed, trying to catch them all out in the front post there as Arsenal get it away. Grealish recycles it back to Bernardo Silva as Arsenal push out. Silva down the right hand side to Doku up against Kivior. Different test for Jakub Kivior now. Doku doesn't take him on, plays it back to Bernardo Silva now. Rodri back out wide to Doku. Kivior in cover again. Kivior kind of helped out there by Jesus, and then the ball in behind to try and find Jeremy Doku is a bit much from City, which goes for a goal kick. And they're going to make a double substitution now, Arsenal. So it will be Jorginho who's going to come off, replacing replaced by Thomas Partey. And the second substitution is Jakub Kivior is going to be replaced by Takehiro Tomiyasu. So Kivior and Jorginho off, and Tomiyasu and Partey coming on. So some fresh legs in key areas for Arsenal. So goal kick, apologies, for Arsenal here. Kick goes long from Raya. Again, Jesus in with the challenge on the ball as Rice fires it in behind first time, and then Havertz battling with Rodri. He wanted to foul himself, Havertz, but he ends up the foul going against him, and Rodri getting the free kick. So, and a yellow card coming out here. First of the day, and it will go to Gabriel Jesus. It's not for a foul, not for a challenge or anything. It's just for wasting time and kicking the ball away unnecessarily. So the first booking in the afternoon does eventually come after 3/4 of the way through the match, and it goes the way of Gabriel Jesus. Vardiol back to Ortega. Forced long, Stefan Ortega. Jesus intercepts that, wins the header, but straight out of play for City throw. As Rico Lewis was behind him. Probably would have been better off leaving that one, Jesus, I would guess, because I think it was going out of play anyway. But he gave City a throw in. No shots from Arsenal in this half. 25% possession, one touch in City's box, but equally enough, City without a shot on target from their 3 shots, 2 touches in the opposition box, and over 75% possession. So the dominance from City, but neither side testing the opposition goalkeeper at the moment in this second half. And we're halfway through this period. Both sides have had single-digit touches inside their the opposition's half in the game, so minimal pressure inside the 18-yard boxes at this moment in time. Here's Bernardo Silva. Diaz. Vardiol. Vardiol. Diaz. Rodri. Rico Lewis battling, and Declan Rice come crumbling in, rattling in, whatever I want to say. But he's come crushing in on Rico Lewis and City get the free kick. Rodri takes it. Trying to find Doku on that right flank. Doku in space. Tomiyasu in battle. But Tomiyasu gets beaten past. Jesus can't steal it away from Doku, but Doku then passes it straight to an Arsenal player. But then does really well to win it back. Bernardo Silva beaten to it by Saliba. Arsenal getting in the way of each other at the moment there. Scramble in the box. Cannot get a clear, Arsenal. Doku. Now Grealish on the left-hand side. Bernardo Silva. Rodri now on the edge of the box. Through to Bernardo Silva. Silva and Arsenal clear their lines again. Away. That was a real scuffle in the Arsenal 18-yard box there. Dramatic. But more positive signs for Manchester City. Only takes one moment, one lapse of concentration, one bit of good play, one beautiful moment to change the outcome of this match. Lewis. Vardiol. Grealish. On the left. Cuts it back to Vardiol. City around the box again. "20 minutes to go then. Deadlock still alive in this one. Neither side can find the back of the net just yet, but City are pushing. Arsenal holding firm and resilient, denying them at the moment. But will that be the final conclusion? With over just under 20 minutes to go, is there a winner in this one? Wouldn't bet against it. Battling. Again come Arsenal as they steal the ball away. And Saka is hacked at there by Bernardo Silva. And it will be an Arsenal free kick. Just inside their own half. And they're going to make another change. Arsenal. A more attacking one this time. So their last two subs were more kind of a defensive and a midfield option. Substitutions. This one's going to be more attacking. And Leandro Trossard is the man who looks to be coming on. And it's going to be Gabriel Jesus that's going to make way. So Jesus, who has started the game on the left flank and has been helping the left fullback in coverage. He gets a few applauses from the City crowd. As a former City player, of course, Gabriel Jesus. And he comes off the pitch a bit unhappy with himself, I'm sure. More than anything. Not that he should be, but strikers will always be unhappy with themselves if they don't score. And he's going to replace by Leandro Trossard. He's going to come on and try and change things in an attacking sense for Arsenal, who haven't had a shot in the second half. Trossard. First touches. Skips away from Doku. Trossard on the break down the left. Plays it off to Tomiyasu. And Tomiyasu battling. Has the last touch. I thought he'd had the last touch. Arsenal get a corner. Last touch came off a City player. So Arsenal have a corner. And instantly that substitution from Trossard has an impact. Gets Arsenal up the pitch and gets them into a dangerous position. Rice over to take this corner on the left-hand side. 6 bodies in the box for Arsenal. 5 at the back post and 1 on the goalkeeper. Rice to take this corner. But in swinger. Deep to the back post, I'm sure. Whips it in. And he doesn't get it to the back post, only the front post, which City clear away through De Bruyne. Ødegaard to Saka. Out wide. To Trossard, who's blocked off on the right. Saka again, though. Has to go back to Thomas Partey. And now back to Gabriel and all the way back to David Raya. He will go long. Try and target a runner. Vardiol wins the header. Bernardo Silva brings it down. Feeds it into the path of Rodri. Akanji. Taking his time. Unsure of where to go next. And just lays it off to Vardiol wide. Diaz. Now Lewis. Assessing the situation, Rico Lewis. Finds it off to Rodri. Looking for space, looking for a ball. Spreads it beautifully out to Grealish on the left-hand side. Grealish trying to work his way into the box. Up against Saka and Ben White. Saka got in for a challenge once there. Bernardo Silva won it back. Saka tried to get back at him as Bernardo Silva crosses. Cleared away. De Bruyne couldn't feed it back in. As Saka intercepting past Vardiol again. But Vardiol brings it down nicely at the second time of asking. Rodri. Now De Bruyne. Vardiol in behind, in the box. Trying to work a bit of space, Vardiol. Marked all the way. Back out to Grealish. Arsenal holding firm. De Bruyne. De Bruyne with the ball in. Haaland was up for the header. Tomiyasu got there ahead of him though. Only half cleared to Doku. Doku chops on inside. Takes the run on. Looking for the cross, blocked off. Saka a bit lax there, and De Bruyne's cross was cleared away. Saka too wasteful on the ball on his own box as Grealish now trying to come through. Arsenal trying to get it away at any which way, and Bernardo Silva applying the pressure, gets the block off White, and will be a City corner. But Arsenal scrambling to get it away there, and they just couldn't. And I think Saka was just a bit slow. Didn't know De Bruyne was behind him, and De Bruyne just nicked the ball away from him, which caused even more chaos. And unnecessary chaos, really. Arsenal should have just cleared their lines there, but with 15 minutes to go, City have another corner. De Bruyne with the delivery, palmed away by Raya. Oh, and Raya got the catch on it the second time round. And he'll be asked to take this again because he used his hands there initially, so we'll have to retake this as we see the corner come in at deep. And he palms it away, and he does well, into an area where he's full of Arsenal bodies and he can come and grab it. Arsenal going to make another substitution. Gabriel Martinelli is the one getting ready on the sidelines. Whether he will come on with someone else or not we will wait to see. If he doesn't, that will be Arsenal's last substitution of the game. Rice does well, body on the line to get Arsenal forward. Ødegaard battling, couldn't win the battle. Everyone is battling for the ball. A bit of head tennis at the moment as De Bruyne brings it down on the counter-attack. Haaland on the charge. De Bruyne through them down the left-hand side looking for Haaland. Fed it all the way through. Doku in the box. Here's Jeremy Doku with the shots. And he spoons it wide of the post. High and wide from Jeremy Doku. And a wasted opportunity there from City on the counter-attack when Arsenal looked open. One of the rare occasions where Arsenal have looked carved open and lacking bodies at the back today. One of those rare occasions, and City didn't make the most of it. As Arsenal ready to make another substitution, it's going to be Bukayo Saka that's going to make way. It's going to be Gabriel Martinelli that's coming on in his place, as Saka looks a bit unhappy after he received a bit of treatment there a moment or two ago. So will be a possible precautionary injury substitution as Gabriel Martinelli coming on for Saka now. As Arsenal get ready to take this goal kick. Saka off, Martinelli on. Another attacking substitution for Arsenal. Straight swap though. Let's see what difference it can make. As it stands, Liverpool will be loving this afternoon. They won and both of their rivals dropped points, which will mean Liverpool will have a bit of headroom at the top of the table. As David Raya gets a booking for his time wasting. His first of the season, funnily enough. For that, wasting too much time according to Anthony Taylor. There's a free kick here for Arsenal. It's Saliba that's the man down, holding his head, so that referee was already giving the free kick, but he had to check, of course, upon Saliba instantly, of course. Yeah, it's the battle with Haaland. Haaland a bit physical there. There was a bit of contact, which gave Arsenal the free kick, and a quick check-up on Saliba, who's okay. White battling with Gabriel Martinelli. Finds Martinelli, now gives it back in field. Partey looking to lay it off. Odegaard into the battle, won that battle. Odegaard, lovely. Finds Martin Odegaard, edge of the box. Martinelli blocked. Now Tomiyasu recycles. Arsenal on the attack. Trossard, Rice looking for the cutback. Blocked off and wins a corner. Still signs for either team to win this. Late into the game. Arsenal won it late in the reverse fixture. 86th minute to be exact, when they scored their winner in the reverse fixture. Gabriel Martinelli, the man to make that, to score that goal to win that game. Rice's corner, right-footed, away by Akanji. Back to Declan Rice. Goes again at it. Away by Grealish this time. As Partey tries to strike through it, misses it completely. A nice Saliba under pressure. Gabriel battling. Saliba again battling against Haaland as City pick it up with De Bruyne, who floats it forward, trying to hope for someone there, and Arsenal get bodies in the way to win it back. Last 10 minutes at the Etihad. City 0, Arsenal 0. Neither side winning. Both sides dropping points. Liverpool daydreaming. Odegaard, poor ball forward, although City not the best of balls at the back. Almost getting themselves into trouble as Rodri upended here, and Odegaard, a bit of frustration you'd have to say there, gives away that free kick. And that will be a free kick to City, and Odegaard helps Rodri back to his feet. Bernardo Silva. Rodri. Rico Lewis. Haaland linking up with the Silva. Here's Haaland. Couldn't find a way through. Finds Grealish. Grealish trying to eke a bit of space. Looking for the cross. Back post. Doku is there. Doku to again hit it with his right boot, but could only hit it wide. Goal kick. Both substitutes combining there for City. Neither of them could get the shot on target to apply a threat to the Arsenal defence. Don't forget, as I mentioned, double header of Championship action tomorrow, Easter Monday. We start at lunchtime as Leicester City host Norwich City in that battle at the top of the Championship. Norwich in 6th. Leicester looking for to keep their battle for the title on as well, and get back into those automatic promotion places as they dropped out with their defeat on Friday, and then followed by Leeds, who don't top the way. They look to get back top against Ipswich. They play Hull at 8 o'clock tomorrow. So double header of Championship action for you tomorrow. Rodri. Ball forward, looking for Doku. Tomiyasu feels the presence of Doku and takes no risk and puts it behind for the City corner, which I think could have been prevented. Probably could have cleared it out for the throw in there, Tomiyasu, but I think he maybe panicked a slight bit. felt the presence of Doku and just made the easy option, not made it more difficult for himself, just knocked it out. And a corner for Arsenal to defend. Corner comes in. Headed on. Haaland at the back post. Oh, he couldn't reach it. He couldn't control it, Erling Haaland. My goodness me. Cross comes in. Vardy with the header on. And Haaland gets his feet tangled. Not often you say that about him. Erling Haaland just completely misses the ball. My goodness. David Raya has a goal kick now. Wow. He missed a couple of big chances against Liverpool at Anfield. One or two, really. He was quiet in that one. He's been quiet here, but, you know, doesn't have to be the most impactful player, the most available player to have an impact. Erling Haaland, 20 touches today, which is not like him to have that many. Usually in and around 10 touches in a game. But this afternoon he's had a few more pass touches rather than shot touches. Here's Trossard for Arsenal. Rice. Gabriel to Partey. And now Tomiyasu tried to take it in on the half turn, but took a heavy touch, and that one will run for a City throw inside their own half. Still, neither side have had a shot on target in the second half. 6 shots for City. 2 shots for Arsenal. Neither found it on target yet, but here comes City on the break again. Here's Vardy. Looking to switch it. Blocked off by Trossard, and Rice picks up the ball. Tomiyasu. Now Partey on the spin. Partey through the middle. Finds Odegaard. Odegaard threads it through. Look at the space here for Arsenal. Here's Trossard. In on goal. Leandro Trossard. Big save by Ortega. At the tight angle, and Jack Grealish, carries it away. Wow, wait. That was a huge opportunity for Arsenal. They'd exploited City on the counter there, and the City looked vulnerable. But here comes City on the brick themselves. Doku. Trying to find a bit of space. De Bruyne on the right-hand side. De Bruyne lifts it in. Haaland was leaping. And Saliba got there ahead of him. As Bernardo Silva keeps it alive, and in for a challenge with Odegaard as Arsenal try and get it away. At the moment, as their man goes down there, but City keep the attack going. Diaz. De Bruyne. Grealish. No space. Rodri. Now Lewis. Tense moments at the Etihad. Rodri the ball over the top. Here's Bernardo Silva. Oh, couldn't put the cross in. Blocked by Ben White. Corner to City. Goodness me. On a knife edge. 3.5 minutes to go. Plus additional time. 0-0 at the Etihad. And De Bruyne will have to retake that corner. He just whipped it in, but the referee's whistle went there. Anthony Taylor wanting to sort a few things out in the box. What can City do from here? Corner comes short. De Bruyne and Grealish linking up. De Bruyne with a cross in. Haaland was at the back post. Went down. A real scramble in the box. And Arsenal will get the free kick, though, for a foul in there. So Arsenal will get a free kick. And Haaland has gone down here. He's really holding his head. He went straight down after he was battling for the ball at the back post. And he can stay down here, Haaland. So holding his head so the physios will come on and sort him out, as Arsenal on the break. Maybe offside there. It's tight, that. Arsenal on the break. Just seeing the replay of their big chance through Trossard on the counter-attack, and maybe a hint of offside, but nonetheless, Trossard did well to get it on target. He had options alongside him, but they had been covered over. And Mikel Arteta was saying for him to square it, but if he's seen it from the angle that we had, I don't think he had the chance to square it because City had cover. As the game is still at pause, with Erling Haaland receiving treatment, so still a bit to go. Well, don't forget, more Premier League action in midweek this week. So, more Premier League football to come as City back in action on Wednesday nights, as they're back in action here under the lights against Aston Villa. Another tough test for City at home against Aston Villa this Wednesday night. Villa, who got a clean sheet and have 3 points against Wolves yesterday, want to follow that up as they beat both City and Arsenal already this season. Would love to do the double on them if they could. Arsenal back in action as well on Wednesday night, a bit earlier than City, a bit earlier a kickoff, 7:30 kickoff. They are back at home and they welcome Luton on Wednesday night. Luton, of course, battling against relegation. And then they're both back in action next weekend as well. A relentless schedule. Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday is the schedule for both of these two teams in the coming week, because Crystal Palace welcome Man City next Saturday at lunchtime before Arsenal head to Brighton next Saturday at 5:30. So a very quick turnaround and some difficult fixtures for these two teams after this. But it's this one that's on that they're both looking to try and squeeze a winner out of if they can in the late stages, as Haaland did receive treatment, but will be maybe coming back on, I'm guessing, because he'll have to go off because he received treatment, but maybe returning to action as we hit the 90 minutes, and we will have 5 added minutes at the end of the 90 here. So 5 minutes for either of these sides to find a winner that could be crucial in the title race, not only against their opposition here today, but against Liverpool, who lead the way and would love this to end as it is. Rodri switching the ball out to the left. Grealish to bring it down on the left flank, up against Ben White and Gabriel. Gets across in Grealish. Haaland was in there in the box, so he felt he was shoved down. The referee said no as the ball comes away. Doku to try and get it back into the box again. Here is Doku on the right as he takes his man on, and battling there was Gabriel, got his body in the way and put it out for the City corner. See this again, Haaland. Yeah, there's nothing in that. Really good defending by Gabriel. Really physical, but massive defending by Gabriel. Stood up well there. And Gabriel sharing his opinion with Erling Haaland there. Don't know what he said, but Erling Haaland gave it a wry smile. As there's a corner. De Bruyne to deliver from the right hand side. The ball's into the box and was headed on, but was going wide before David Raya caught the ball for Arsenal. David Raya again wasting time. He's on a yellow card. Has to watch himself as he goes long up the line and straight out of play for a City throw. And the pressure straight back on Arsenal. 3 minutes to go. Almost time to confirm player of the match as well. So if you've got any suggestions, get them into the chat. I've got a name in mind. Long ball over the top. Doku to chase. Doku down the right hand side. Into the box, trying to eke past a few Arsenal players. Cuts it back for De Bruyne. De Bruyne with a cross. Haaland with a header. Completely off target, that one. And Arsenal can clear it away through Tomiyasu. Rice trying to get Arsenal on the front foot. They might have one chance. Trossard. Gabriel with a long ball. Looking for the run of Havertz. He's blocked off by Akanji, who gives it back to Ortega, who recycles for City. Ortega goes long. Grealish wins the header past Saliba, but Gabriel clears it away and comes clattering in there. Odegaard on a chat on Bernardo Silva. Free kick to City, which they take quickly. No wasting time. Manchester City. 2 minutes to go. A winner needs to come quick because the clock is running down. Rico Lewis. Diaz. Akanji. Doku on the right hand side. Tomiyasu battling and winning that battle. Lovely from Tomiyasu. He dispossesses Doku but has nowhere to go. No help, but he does really well there, Tomiyasu, to kind of get the free kick out of Manuel Akanji, which takes the pressure off the Arsenal defence at the moment. Gabriel goes long. Trossard with a flick on, but that was a bit unnecessary. Should have took a touch there, Trossard, and carried the ball forward, but City are back in possession. Minute to go. Seconds counting down. De Bruyne. Grealish. One last chance maybe, as Partey intercepts Rice, trying to squeeze through the bodies to get the ball forward. Rice, ball over the top, Martinelli in. Martinelli battling with Gvardiol, and no foul in there on Martinelli. Good challenge, good defending by Josko Gvardiol, and out for a City goal kick, where they need to get it moving quickly and up the pitch quick if they're going to want to win. Diaz. Rodri. Now Bernardo Silva. Maybe one last opportunity. Gvardiol. Grealish. In the middle. Slow on the ball. Odegaard there to win it, get it away. Rodri to pick it back up though. Rodri taking a chance at the defence, and the chip ball in behind. Straight into the grasp of David Raya. And that is the final whistle. City have failed to score for the first time in over 2.5 years at the Etihad at the hands of Arsenal. Arsenal delighted that they got a clean sheet, but it will be Liverpool that are the big winners of the day. They win earlier to take top spot off the Gunners, and neither City or Arsenal could respond and put 3 points on the board. Just a point apiece at the Etihad. A very well fought game. Two defences working at their highest. Only 3 shots on target in total in this game. 1 for City, 2 for Arsenal. Incredible. What a game. And for a 0-0, it was a chess match. Both sides stifling the other. Both sides, attackers, having minimal opportunities. And that is a fight, a game where, at the point, I think both teams were happy not to lose the game, rather than go on to win it maybe in the end. Pep Guardiola giving out a few details to Jack Grealish there. But this is City's first time that they have failed to score at home since Crystal Palace back in 2021 when they lost here. But that really opens it up and gives Manchester City a bit more hard work to do, Arsenal a bit more hard work to do. But it is Liverpool's day on Easter Sunday. Liverpool win against Brighton earlier and see out that victory. 2-1, hard fought victory for Liverpool. 67 points. They lead the way, followed by Arsenal, 2 points behind on 65, and then City coming third on 64. 3 points separate the top 3. It's Liverpool who are top. Liverpool who had the advantage, with Arsenal and City both dropping points today. The best possible scenario for Jurgen Klopp's side, who he got to victory and had to see out a tough fought victory. But Arsenal will be happy defensively today. They kept a clean sheet at the Etihad, the first team to do that since Crystal Palace in 2021. Manchester City holding off Arsenal at times as well. But it will be Arsenal that will be the happier of the two sides in the end, really, on the balance of things, I would say, for the draw in the end. I think William Saliba, his presence, his absence here last season was well fought and well known by Arsenal, but his presence here this afternoon was without doubt commanding and massive for Arsenal defensively. He is my player of the match without doubt today, William Saliba. Arsenal doing a number on City and denying them a goal here for the first time in over 2.5 years. A great day of Premier League football. The title race takes another twist as Liverpool lead the way. City and Arsenal in close control and close following, and they have work to do as they count down to the final stages of the season. 9 games to go, and any of the 3 could still win it, but Opta are predicting that Liverpool are the favourites as they lead the way. Who knows what could happen? A lot of twists and turns still to come, and more Premier League action in midweek. But for now, have a very good afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your Easter weekend. Bye-bye.